quick video to go over some ideas about solo training, how you can be effective training by yourself, okay? First off, let's get a general idea right off the top so we don't make any assumptions of what we're trying to achieve in Jiu-Jitsu, okay? Think of it like this. If you want to go somewhere you haven't been before, you need, directions. You need a map, or you're going to use GPS, okay? GPS is essentially a unit that sits there and tells you next left, next right, these are your directions, okay? You don't really have to think, you don't have to know the map, it's going to take you where you want to go. The alternative would be looking at a map, or getting directions, but whatever. You're looking at a map and you're reading the map yourself, you're trying to remember the basic steps of the map, so that while you're driving, you're like, oh yeah, right, I gotta go in this direction, I have to go here, I have to go here, all right? This is kind of like Jiu-Jitsu, all right? You're never gonna have a GPS unit while you're rolling that's constantly telling you, like, this is where you wanna go, this is what you wanna do. So you have to have a map, and the map is unique to your game. So you have to create that map. What does that map look like, all right? Well, when you first design that map, what you need are A, B options from virtually every position. What do I mean by that? Complementary options. So if I'm in one position, let's say for example, I am in a seated guard, a seated open guard, and my opponent's in front of me. I need A, B. So two things that I can do from this position that complement each other. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna try to do is win the hand fight. So I'm gonna try to grab someone's wrist and control their wrist. If I win the hand fight, then I move into a new position. Like, let's say I win the hand fight and get their hand, then I'm gonna look to moving into a foot on the hip tripod, like a tripod guard. From the tripod, then I'm gonna look to perform a tripod sweep as my A, and then my B would be something complementary. So if I try to tripod sweep them, you imagine what they're going to do. You visualize what they're gonna do. They're gonna step back, try to maintain their base. That's gonna formulate what my B option will be. So maybe it's tripod, and then I sit up into an ankle pick, or it's tripod, and then I move into single leg X. Okay, that's my A, B. Going back to the hand fight. So if I can't get the hands, if I'm trying to sit in my open guard and grab a hand, and they keep their hands back, I need a B option. I can't control your hands, fine. Maybe I'll just get up and I'll try for a double leg. That's my B. Or I'll try to connect myself to their leg, like some kind of koala style guard. All right? So we need to create a map of what we're trying to achieve. And what's pretty sweet is your map is going to be unique to what you want to do. You can take it from various people's games, all right? But all the material on my YouTube, on Island Top Team, bjjconcepts.net, as much as I hate him, Rory Van Vliet, his YouTube is okay, really great editing, absolutely poor quality jiu-jitsu, but it's worth taking a look. He's got a lot of detail, all right? So this is the most important thing, recognizing that you need to have this map, and you can go through that map in your mind, all right? You can improve on this map as you will on a very regular basis. It's like, hey, maybe I like playing single leg X, okay? So I move into single leg X. What are my A-B options, okay? You need to be able to recall these things on the spot, as if when you're in a roll, you're gonna have to think of, shit, I'm in single leg X, what do I do, okay? You're gonna try to twist sweep, all right? Twist sweep doesn't work. You're gonna move into X guard. That's your A-B. Perfect. You can develop a game from there. You can have more options. So you could develop a A, B, C, D, E from every position, okay? And you'll be really good at that point. But at the beginning, you just need an A and a B, all right? Try to write that map. Try to think, I start from this position. These are my preferred guards. These are my close range guards. These are my longer range guards, okay? Same thing from the top. If I want to pass the guard, what are my A, B options? Maybe A, B, C, that's fine too, but you need at least a very strong A, B. I go for a knee cut, they ball up and they don't let me in, I go for an X pass, okay? They try to prevent the X pass, I move back to my knee cut, or maybe I move into a Toriano, all right? These are the ideas. You can go over these in your mind. Visualization, tons of high-level athletes use visualization. There have been studies on, just one that I can think of, basketball players doing free throws. Some basketball players just visualized perfect free throws, and the other basketball players actually shot free throws. And then they tested their results after some actually performed it and some just did it in their mind. The benefit to doing it in your mind is you can actually perform perfect reps in your mind. When you do it physically, you're more prone to make mistakes. I mean, this is really on the cusp of what we know actually works towards development in sport. But this is stuff that elite level athletes are doing and practicing. So I think it's worth a shot to try, go through that exercise. All right. It's like if you were a professional, I'm not at all a professional skier, but if I was, I would know what run I was going down, right? And I would know it's like, hey, it's 2 lefts, then a right, a sharp left, and then I'm going down like some deep decline, whatever it is. I'm gonna know the run before I go down the race, and I'm gonna go over it in my head so many times that I'm not gonna make an error. All right, the same thing has to be done for your jiu-jitsu game. You gotta know what your game is. You need to create your map, and then you need to be able to call upon your map very quickly. So you can develop this map and you can practice those triggers by yourself anytime you want, and you can find the material needed to use high percentage movements from any given situation. Again, my YouTube channel, fucking Rory's an idiot, but his YouTube channel, Island Top Team, BJJ Concepts, definitely, excellent resources. If you're a part of Island Top Team, if you're a part of BJJ Concepts, these are gonna help you. All right, what else can we do? Okay, let's get into the idea of conditioning and trying to improve our athleticism while we can't actually train. Now, there are a ton of different ways to look at this, but I've done quite a bit of reading on this and looked into a lot of different sources, and basically what I can tell you for sure is a lot of experts agree that you want to be on extremes of a particular spectrum to get the most bang for your buck. What I mean by that is you want to be doing either super long distance, low intensity work for cardiovascular endurance, okay? Or you want to be doing super short, crazy high intensity sprints for your anaerobic conditioning, all right? These are kind of 2 sides of a scale for your conditioning. There's your long distance cardio, and there's your absolutely brutal high intensity, your body can't use oxygen anymore, and it just absolutely fatigues your muscles as quickly as possible. So an example of that is a Tabata, all right? Now a Tabata is not like, it's, first of all, if you know what it is, it's 8, it's 4 minutes, and it's 8 sets. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off for 4 minutes. Those 20 seconds on are supposed to be 100% maximum intensity. You can only do certain exercises at that level of intensity, okay? You can't like weight training exercises, like CrossFit style stuff. It's not a true Tabata. There's high intensity interval training, HIIT training. Tabata is a form of HIIT training, okay? A Tabata is a very specific protocol that's designed to take high-level athletes even further in their anaerobic training, all right? So just so you have an idea, you're doing crazy intense sprints, all right, if you're physically able, all right, or you're doing very long-distance cardio. On top of that, okay, we have a bunch of other skills that we can work on, right? Like we have muscular endurance and skill development, okay? So touching on skill development a little bit, solo movements. There's a lot of idiots out there, like Rory, who think that skill development or solo movements is basically an inefficient way to train. This is nonsense because basically there are 2 ways, hugely generalizing, that you can improve upon your ability to be efficient while you roll, okay? You can just be an absolute madman when it comes to your conditioning, which I'm gonna pump my own tires here. My conditioning's pretty good, all right? You can also be really efficient at the movements in jiu-jitsu. The more efficient you are at the movements, literally by definition, the less energy you're going to use to do those movements. So I'm sure you've heard of different athletes who are technically in terrible shape, but they're still really efficient at their sport because they're so good at the particular movement that they're doing. It requires so little energy for them to do those movements, all right? So if you practice the actual movements in jiu-jitsu, bridges, hip escapes, level changes, various guard passes, you name it, and you get really efficient at those movements, well, you use that as a form of conditioning exercise, like maybe for your endurance work or your muscular endurance work. This is going to translate extremely well into your actual jiu-jitsu practice, okay? So improving your efficiency. There are guys like Rob, for instance, Rob Bernacki. He says he's got terrible cardio, and he does, for sure. He's old and he's got bad cardio and bad conditioning. But I'm going to shit on him a little bit and say that he could be more efficient at his movements, all right? If he was more efficient at his movements, he wouldn't get tired as quickly, and he's probably in the same boat as Rory saying that solo movements don't work, and that's why they're both idiots, all right? Now, on top of that, there's one more thing that I want to go over, and that has to do with the decision-making process while you're rolling, okay? So let me give you a quick example. So if I'm on top, let's say I'm practicing my windshield wipers, my spin behinds, my top movement in a solo drill. Okay, so let me just pull this bag over here. Okay, so I'm on the bag and I'm working on some windshield wipers. Okay, so I'm here and I'm just like doing this over and over again. That's all I'm doing. Okay, sure, I'm developing the movement and there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you need to iron out a movement for like just at the beginning so you can become effective at it and work on the details. And as a side note, I will be adding information on the top game, how to do those solo movements and various other solo movements. But what I'm trying to get at right now is if I'm actually in a roll, okay, and I windshield wiper to one side like this, my training partner is going to have an option, right? I'm not just going to be like, I'm just going to do 5 windshield wipers side to side, and then I'm going to do a spin behind. Okay, you can do this, and this isn't inefficient as far as improving your movements, but it is inefficient as far as making it practical to your actual rolling, all right? So I'm going to do a windshield wiper, and then I need to visualize what my training partner does. Did they just hip escape and close the space in between their knee-elbow connection? Because if they did, I'm not going to be able to windshield wiper back through. So there's going to be this lag where I need to be like, I need to do a windshield wiper, I'm like, boom, and I need to actually calculate in my mind, like, oh, what I need to do now is spin behind based off of their reaction. Or what I need to do now is pin their knee and maybe do a windshield wiper over their knee on the other side, all right? You have to be making those calculations as you move to make your training that much more effective. It's more tiring to have to think about what's actually happening, and developing the skill of visualization is a unique skill in itself that will translate to helping you on the mat. At least elite level athletes in a lot of sports use visualization, all right? That's pretty much it. So we're looking at, obviously, before everything, the idea of alignment and applying our concepts first. We're building our own map. It's one of the best parts about Jiu-Jitsu. You can design your own game the way you want to design it. You can take from high-level athletes, take little pieces of their game, create your own game, as long as it's based in the concepts and principles of alignment and so on, you're good. All right, so you create the map, you set triggers. So, okay, I'm in half guard, and you get more specific. I'm in half guard, and my training partner on top, they change their position and give me what we call the wall. So they turn and they put their back towards me. It's like, shit, what do I do from this position? I'm gonna move into what? Okay, I need an option. So spend a moment to find out what that option is. Look it up on various sources. I'm with bjjconcepts.net. There's a ton of useful information there. It's categorized really well to help you put it into a game. Obviously, there are a number of other sites that do this, but it's less common to see systems prioritized in this sort of A-B idea and prioritized under these larger concepts, okay? So anyways, map, know your map, set your triggers, know your game in your head. You have to be able to visualize it. You will not have GPS telling you where to go. Work on your conditioning, high intensity, very short durations. You could do 30-second sprint followed by a rest, 30-second sprint followed by a rest for 10 minutes, all right? You could do what's called a Tabata, all right? Look it up. It is not the same as a normal high intensity interval training session. It's a very specific protocol. You could do, high intensity burpees for a short period of time, but we're talking very high intensity, very short time. Or hop on a rowing machine, hop on a bike, walk. If you can't leave, you can do body weight movements for like a long duration, and you're gonna work on your muscular endurance, but more importantly, your long distance cardio. Long distance cardio is so effective for so many different things, health, recovery, and beyond that, all right? You're working on that decision-making process, all right? While you're rolling, you're working on visualizing what's happening, and you're working on the efficiency of your movements. Even if you're not in good shape, if you're efficient at the movements, you're gonna beat someone who is super in shape, but not efficient at the movements, okay? So I hope you get something out of this. I'm gonna add more videos soon. Thank you very much.